Hello there, I am the Tie-Dye Jedi, and this is an instructional video for your new lightsaber. So let's have a look inside the box here. You've got your saber here, charging cable, extra battery, charger. This is mainly what we're interested in. Once the saber has sat for a certain amount of time, maybe 3-5 minutes, it'll go into a deep sleep mode that will preserve the battery life of the saber. So the first time you press the power button, instead of the saber turning on, you'll hear what's called a boot sound that'll identify the specific sound font that you currently have chosen and boot the saber.
The Force is with you, young
So that's what you're hearing there.
You are not a Jedi yet.
Once the saber's booted or recently been played with, a light tap on the power button will activate the lightsaber. In order to turn it off, it takes a longer press. It's a light press to turn it on, but to keep it from accidentally turning off while you're playing with it, it takes a long press to turn it off. There are two knobs here in the back. The upper of those two knobs is what releases or holds in your blade. There's currently a safety plug in there. This is technically considered a class 3 laser. It's really bright and it will blind you. So when you do not have a blade in it, you can keep your safety plug in there and it looks kind of cool. I kind of made that up for you last minute. And you take that out. Be careful not to shine that in people's eyes. It's really bright. And then your blade just fits right into the hole there like that. And you can tighten it up like that. Nice and snug. The lightsaber's ready to be played with. I'm going to take that back out for the sake of the video because it's long. Put your blade plug back in there. That's your upper knob there. Alright, so I'm going to long hold to press that. Now when it's turned off, if you long hold to turn it on, you can hold the button down until you hear the first beep, and that'll put it in silent mode. Then you can play with your lightsaber or do whatever you want to do with it without any sound at all. Not have to worry about it annoying people, or so you can play with it while your wife's asleep, whatever. When you turn it back off, you'll hear the retraction sound and then it's back to normal. Now if you hold the button down until you get the second beep, that'll take you to your next sound font. The saber here holds 3 sound fonts and each sound will have a different color profile associated with it. So that's your second sound and your second set of sounds and your second set of colors. And then if I hold it down until the second beep, I'll get your third sound.
This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
Those are all programmable via the card in the bottom, and we're going to get to that in just a second. So those are your 3 colors. If I hold it till the second beep, we'll go back to the first one again.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. You are not a Jedi yet.
So that's the basic functionality of your saber. Now we're going to get into the insides of it. This is a fully removable chassis, so the insides here come completely out, and you can change the battery or change your sound settings or just have a look-see. The first step after obviously unscrewing the pommel like I just did there is you'll want to take the button out. You can just kind of grab it by the edges here and give it a twist and it'll unscrew right out of there just like a knob. I'm going to sit that here. And then your second knob here is the knob that holds the chassis in place. So once I release that, I'll be able to slide the chassis right out of the inside of the saber. So this is your inside of your chassis. Your button will screw right back in there if you want it to. You can take your battery out here for recharging. There's a red plus and a silver minus down inside of there. Be sure to never put this in backwards. It will do damage if you put the battery in backwards. Positive to positive, negative to negative.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. You are not a Jedi yet.
You do have a little crystal chamber here. Has real brass and aluminum accents inside of it. The crystal lights up and matches your blade color. This chassis is fully functional outside of the Saber, but this does put off a lot of heat, which is naturally absorbed through the rest of the hilt. So if you have this on for very long outside of the Saber, be careful, that will get hot. And again, it will also blind people. And here's your micro SD card. You can pop that out of there, make changes to your sounds, changes to your colors, all that good stuff, and then just pop it right back in there. We'll get to that on another tutorial. Once you've popped it back in, a couple of presses on the button will give you your boot sound again. Again, you can just take that power button off. Kind of line your button here up with the hole when you slide it back in there. Slide it back in there like so. Once you got it lined up, you can just tighten this down like so, nice and firm, and then just screw your button right back in there. So that's the basic rundown of your new lightsaber. You have two different kinds of batteries here. The one that's in there now is a little slimmer, so it's easier to get in and out. But if you're planning on doing some pretty heavy dueling, this battery here is a little bit bigger in diameter, and so it's a tighter fit when you slide it back into the hilt. But it's also a tighter fit for if you're going to do some pretty hardcore dueling. You don't have to worry about the battery rattling around in there and the Saber possibly cutting in or out. So that's the basic rundown. The batteries just fit inside the charger like so. The light will light up red while it's charging. It'll turn green when it's charged. And that's it. I hope you enjoy your new Saber. Merry Christmas.